Good afternoon. It is a couple minutes after 4:15, and we are just underway here at the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex. Welcome here on a Wednesday afternoon. My name is Tommy Aquilina. You are watching the Fort Lee Bridgman varsity girls soccer team host the Dumont Huskies. You will notice there is no scoreboard, no official scoreboard, due to Fort Lee High School getting a new scoreboard, actually. We will not have we have an official score and time, just not being kept on the scoreboard. They're actually installing it right now. They might have taken a break while this match goes on. It'll be the Fort Lee Bridgman hosting the Dumont Huskies in a Big North American divisional matchup. Fort Lee, the home team, with it right now, wearing their black kits with orange lettering and accenting. Also, orange numbering and lettering for the Huskies. They're in their road whites, as the Fort Lee goalkeeper has that one. In goal today, Sarah Agranov. According to NJ.com, this will be her second game in net this season. 9th of the year for Fort Lee. Fort Lee trying to break out right here, and they're going to get a throw-in opportunity. Agranov had 7 saves in her first time in net. Now in there today in a divisional matchup. This is the second time these teams are meeting this year. The Huskies came away with a 4-0 victory back on September 15th. The Huskies enter this one 7-3 on the season and 4-1 in division. For Fort Lee, they enter this one. NJ.com gave them a win against Cliffside Park. I'm not sure what that's about. Originally, they had lost that one, as they have an opportunity here, but the centering try gets past everybody. Right now, this is Jetty Mulieta with it, number 7. Centering try, ball leaks out. Shot attempt is way wide of the net. And it goes out of play. Maggie Hanley, the goalkeeper for the Dumont Huskies. Oh, so for Fort Lee, with that loss to Cliffside Park, that would have them 2-6 on the season and 2-3 in division. If they do retroactively get a win there, they would be 3-2 in division and 3-5 overall. So both of these teams have multiple wins in division. This is a much improved Dumont roster, as Fort Lee just takes it right there. I believe that was number 10, Ansley Castro. Her lead pass was too far out in front of her teammate, and it goes out of play. Castro had missed some time, came back at the half after getting cleared to play in Fort Lee's last game. That was actually a win at Cliffside Park. A 3-1 deficit for Ian Oates' team at halftime on Monday. 4 goals in the second half. Castro had 1 assist, and Fort Lee came away with a 5-4 win. Now looking to make it a winning streak as they host Dumont. They'll be back here in a couple more days on Friday, October 10th, hosting Hackensack. That shot goes over everything. Way out of play. We should be more than 4.5 minutes into this one. Again, you will notice no scoreboard. Fort Lee is getting a new one installed. So the Score, obviously, and time is being kept on the field. A whistle. As number 12 for Dumont, Mia Masari, was battling a couple bridgemen. Castro into a mess of players. A Husky kicked it into her own face. Fort Lee with another opportunity. Lead pass leads to a centering try. Castro into a Husky. Another shot attempt. Fort Lee scores. An early lead for the Fort Lee Bridgemen against their division rival Dumont. Just about 5 minutes into this one. And so once again, Ansley Castro's presence helping Fort Lee. So an early 1-0 lead for Fort Lee. This is number 4, Shania Zurita with it. Another lead pass, Castro, and that is handled by Maggie Hanley. The goalkeeper has played well for Dumont on the season. NJ.com lists her with 40 saves in 7 games. And again, Dumont enters this one 7-3 on the season. Again, the Huskies beat Fort Lee 4-0 back on September 15th. Fort Lee obviously did not score in that one, and less than 10 minutes into this one, they've put one on the board. Now it's going to be a throw-in opportunity for Fort Lee. They've basically controlled this entire match so far. Obviously very early, but now another opportunity here for Fort Lee. A Bridgman goes down. Taken here by number 11 on Dumont, Hannah Nathanson. Goes the other way. And Castro winds up sending it to Nathanson. Dumont will try to make something happen. This is number 4, Michaela Molina. She gets it off to Masari. It looks like the ball is going to go out of play here, and it will, as one Bridgman and one Husky were chasing after it. Michaela Molina, one of the 3 captains of this Dumont team. She's actually a junior. So is Sage Solomon, number 20, and then number 7, Maeve Bisher, a senior, is the 3rd and final captain. This is going to be a corner kick opportunity for another junior, number 10, Savannah Munoz. So Dumont trailing early. They're going to try to knock this one back up. Munoz towards net. Nathanson had a shot at it. She didn't really get a great opportunity at it. And as her and Mulietta chase it, the ball goes out of play. Fort Lee to go the other way. Substitution made here by Fort Lee head coach Ian Oates in his first season leading this team. Jetty Mulietta will come off. And she'll be replaced by number 13, Eliza Adame. Castro had it taken away by Masari. The Huskies trying to control here. Molina after it. Battling Ileana James. Sent towards net. Another opportunity for Dumont. Save. Still battling for it. And finally, Agranov is on top of it. Again, Sarah Agranov, not the primary goalkeeper for Ian Oates this year, but her and her defense keeps the door shut there. Fort Lee still leads 1-0. We're about 10 minutes into the first half in this one. Again, time being kept on the field. No scoreboard here today at the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex. Fort Lee currently getting a new one installed, but we are about 10 minutes into this one. It is 1-0 Fort Lee. The Bridgemen trying to avenge a loss to the Huskies earlier in the season. Ball goes out of play. I believe it will be thrown in by Munoz. The Huskies have won 3 in a row. Here in the month of October, they are 2-0. Ball in the middle of the pitch now, neither team getting a great foothold, and that was a pass attempt for Adamai, but the ball goes out of play. To be thrown in by Shania Zarita of Fort Lee. Zarita passing back and forth with Angelina Villate, number 23, and she sends it to the Huskies. Almost gets it back, but now Dumont is trying to head the other way with it. Ball gets by number 27, Jera Jana, and out of play. That's going to be off of Fort Lee. So Dumont going to try to make an opportunity as they look to come back in this one. In their first 2 matches in October, they only gave up 1 goal. A 9-0 blowout of Bergen Charter and a 2-1 win a couple days ago against Dwight Morrow. Both of those matches were at home. On the road today, and then Friday, they will be at Teaneck High School. Corner kick opportunity. There's a scrum. Looked like it might have been a handball there on Dumont. In any event, Agranov comes away with it. Going down there and potentially having the ball touch her hand was number 8, Monica Lulai. Now Agranov to get Fort Lee started. Here is Zarita with it. Blowing by a defender. 1 more to beat. Zarita tries to stop. In the corner now, she's going to look for a teammate, and we're going to get a whistle here. Ball to be thrown in by Dumont. Trying to get it into number 11, Nathanson, and instead Fort Lee comes away with it. I believe that was a pass by Adamai. A teammate was going to get hit in the face, had to duck out of the way of it. Ball goes out of play, and Dumont will get started as we're going to have a substitution here. I believe coming onto the pitch now is number 1, Louise Chitima. Dumont trying to come back in this one. We are roughly 15 minutes in. Again, no scoreboard today as a new one is being installed. But Fort Lee does lead Dumont 1-0 here in this big North American divisional matchup. An attempt at a pass was broken up by a Bridgman defender, and the ball will wind up at a play. On that pass, Dumont was looking for Michaela Molina, one of the 3 captains of this Dumont team. Shot attempt, and Dumont scores. Knotting this one up at 1, roughly 15 minutes into this one. I couldn't tell if that was Molina or if that was Masari, number 12. In any event, we are tied at 1. Coming into this one, Masari had 4 goals on the season. Michaela Molina had 5. Dumont's leading goal scorer this year, according to NJ.com, is Monica Lulai with 7. Fort Lee trying to respond. They took a lead early, but about 10 minutes later, Dumont responded to knot this one up at 1. Ball bouncing around here, neither team able to control, and that winds up being a soft shot for Fort Lee that is handled by Maggie Hanley. And Hanley to try to get her team started. Again, Dumont coming into this one in first place in the Big North American, 4-1 in division. Dwight Morrow right behind them at 4-2. And they went 1-1 against each other this year. Dumont with a win against Dwight Morrow a couple days ago. Now another opportunity for Fort Lee, and that shot goes past Agranov but rings off the post. That was Masari. Headed up in the air by Molina. Agranov after it, and she comes away with it. Nice play by Sarah Agranov with multiple Huskies in her face, and Fort Lee keeps this one tied at 1. That goes over the head of a Bridgman as well as a Husky. And now Dumont controlling again. Picking up the pace, the Huskies are, and starting to control after they didn't really get anything going in the first 5 minutes. Taken away there by Ansley Castro. Fancy footwork. Her pass is nearly stolen by Dumont. Nathanson trying to keep it in play, and she cannot. So Fort Lee will go the other way with it. Ball to be thrown in by number 12 for Fort Lee, Rogine Rahinijad. Looking for Villate. Dumont takes it. Now this is Lulai chasing after it. Ileana James controls. She has it stolen away by Molina. Molina now battling James, who goes down. No whistle. Masari over the net. The Dumont Jr. with a shot, not technically a shot on goal, as she misses. And now we're going to have a substitution by Dumont head coach Dylan Van Riper. Agranov will get the Bridgman started. A low kick that Masari goes after. Fort Lee trying to control. Lulai was going after it. That shot gets past Agranov and just misses the net. Multiple near misses here in the last few minutes for Dumont as they are starting to control. We're still tied at 1, not quite 20 minutes into the first half. Again, 2 40-minute halves in high school soccer with a 10-minute intermission in between, no stoppage time. We only stop for injuries and goals. A new scoreboard getting installed, so we don't have one, but it is currently 1-1 about halfway through the first half. A Husky goes down. We play on. Castro gets it off to a teammate. Fort Lee looking to make something happen, but that lead pass is out of the reach of its intended target. Now we will have a substitution by Ian Oates. Jarajana has come off. Dumont controls it. That ball goes out of play as a Husky hits the deck. I believe that was number 8, the freshman Catherine Kelly. It'll be Fort Lee throwing in here. And we have a whistle. I think Fort Lee is still going to control here. No, they're not. It's going to go to Dumont. I think the throw-in was too low to the ground. It needed to be thrown higher. Of course, on a throw-in, you also have to have both your feet on the ground. It looks like that wasn't the issue, but one of the 2 referees does call an illegal throw-in. So Dumont to control, but only very momentarily. I can almost hear Fort Lee fans saying, "Ball don't lie there." So the Bridgman to throw in, headed away from everybody, and Maggie Hanley will get involved here. Her kick is low and on the ground. This shot gets by her and the net. An opportunity for Fort Lee, but Maggie Hanley gets away with straying far away from her net. More than halfway through the first half here. We are tied at 1. Fort Lee controlled the first 5 minutes or so. Dumont has controlled most of the 15 minutes since then, although a couple opportunities recently for Fort Lee, and maybe another one here. Multiple defenders beat, shot saved by Hanley. And knocked out of danger. Another good opportunity for the Bridgmen. They're not taking their foot off the gas pedal. Velate turning around on a defender, looking for a teammate. She's got her. Once again, the ball knocked away. Ileana James now battling a Husky. That was Molina. Ball goes out of play. Off James. It'll be Nathanson throwing in for the Huskies. And that will be off of Molina. Rahinijad to throw in. Looking for Zarita. And now she is battling with Sage Solomon. Solomon losing it to Castro. Castro spinning around Catherine Kelly. Gets it to Velate. Velate with the lead pass. Hanley slides and controls. Zarita was right there, maybe half a step behind that one. Great play by the Dumont goalkeeper. Now Fort Lee has controlled the last few minutes of this one. Dumont trying to flip the script. Rahinijad gets it past a Husky, but it does go out of play, so Dumont will throw in. Now Fort Lee to control. Shot sent low on the ground and easily handled by Hanley. Headed down by Rahinajad. Now this is Velate with it. Using her defenders almost as shields, she sends it past a teammate and out of play. So now the Huskies to throw in. There have been kind of runs in this one. Again, Fort Lee controlling the first 5 minutes or so, Dumont controlling the next maybe 13 minutes or so. Since then, Fort Lee has largely been in control. We're about 25 minutes into this one, so that means there are about 15 minutes left. Again, no scoreboard because a new one is being installed here as we get a whistle. The home crowd is not happy as that one goes against Fort Lee. 1-1 here in the first half. Fort Lee beat Dumont twice last year. The Huskies actually went 0-7 in division last year. This year they flipped the script. They are 4-1 in division. And now they are looking to go 2-0 against Fort Lee this year. Now we have Dumont fans calling for a handball, but we play on. And this one goes out of play. Dumont still controlling. Yes. Catherine Kelly battling Louise Chitima, and the ball once again goes out of play. Things kind of slowing down a little bit here, really for the first time in this one. It's been an exciting one between Fort Lee and Dumont. Lead pass for Zarita. She has it taken away. This is Solomon with it. Solomon loses it. Pass ahead to Mulieta. She gets it to Zarita, and Zarita off the top post. The bottom of the top bar, she beat Hanley. Somehow, the ball did not go in. Terrible break for Shania Zarita, who did everything right there. Also a great lead pass on that one. We remain tied at 1. Fort Lee still controls. Zarita trying to head it down. And it's kicked away from her, and now Kelly and the Huskies looking to break out. Her lead pass is handled by Louise Chitima of the Bridgemen, and she will just send it out of play. Chasing after it was number 17, Allison Myers. So Dumont to throw in. Kelly and Chitima battling for it. Now it's Molina getting it to a teammate. Solomon, right to Ileana James. Dumont still controlling here. Shot sent on the ground. Fort Lee trying to clear it, but they cannot. Riley Borsch trying to make something happen there for Dumont, number 15. And now it looks like it will be a corner kick opportunity for the Huskies. And I think it's going to be Nathanson doing the honors. Dylan Van Riper wants to make a substitution, and he will. The corner kick from the lefty kicker, Nathanson. Solomon has it. Saved by Agranov. Multiple Huskies right in front of her. Agranov makes the save. She's made multiple good ones today, and we remain tied at 1. About 10 minutes remaining here in the first half. Zarita once again trying to make something happen for the Bridgemen. battling a Husky, getting an angle, and her pass attempt is knocked out of play by her defender. It's going to be a corner kick opportunity for Fort Lee. Dumont has had most of them today. This one for Fort Lee. Everyone gets set up, and here we go. On the ground, booted high in the air by a Husky. Fort Lee almost controlled, but Nathanson knocked it out of play. A throw-in for Rahinijad. She finds Zarita, but her pass gets by everybody. Dumont ball. (1-1), Dumont at Fort Lee. About 30 minutes into this one. That was sent high in the air by Rahinijad. Neither team really controlling here. We're right in front of the Dumont net, and it looks like the Huskies are finally going to control. Briefly, Ileana James, back to Velate, trying to get past multiple Huskies. She breaks through. Now looking for an angle. Multiple players in front of the net. Her centering try is knocked away. Will that stay in play? Yes, it will. And I believe that was Masari kicking it off of Bridgman. So Dumont throws in. Dumont trying to control here. Masari goes down as she gets a pass off, and we get a whistle. They say Masari was bumped by Castro. So Masari to get things started. Waits for her team to get set. Kelly loses it. Gets by multiple Huskies. And Chitima now battling Nathanson. Nathanson gets the edge. And now looking for a teammate to pass it to. Kept in play by Molina. Molina trying to go around Ileana James, but she was unable to keep it in play. Fort Lee ball. And we're going to get a substitution for Ian Oates. Eliza Adame will come off. And Jetty Mulieta will come on. Rahinijad throwing in. Looking for Velate. Fighting with multiple Huskies. Velate gets back in the play and now taking it the other way. Blows by a Husky. Still controlling. Looking for a teammate. That pass is stolen away by Dumont. And it goes out of play. Still Fort Lee ball. Here is Mulieta with it. Nearly losing it, and yes, Dumont will control, but they immediately send it out of play. So Fort Lee will once again take over. Ball thrown in as a member of Fort Lee is tying her shoes. That shot sent towards net, and it is headed out of play by a Husky. Mulieta gave chase, but was unable to get to it. Fort Lee will control here. And I believe we're going to have a corner kick. We will. Another corner kick opportunity for Fort Lee. Right to Hanley. Both goalkeepers, Hanley for Dumont and Agranov for Fort Lee, have played quite well here on this pleasant Wednesday afternoon. This is Velate with it now for Fort Lee. Gets past a Husky. Blows by two more. Her shot knocked down by a Husky. And after a little bit of a scrum, it winds up back with Hanley. Looking to get the Huskies started, but that one goes out of play. So once again, Fort Lee to control. They're going to try to make something happen here in the last 5 minutes or so of the first half. Again, I say or so, but time is being kept on the field. That's a lead pass for Dumont, and it harmlessly winds up with Agranov. Catherine Kelly just about running into Agranov on that one. Very overly eager. Both of these teams clearly excited for this one, and it's been an exciting one. 1-1 late in the first half. Fort Lee scored in the first 5 minutes of the first half. Can they get on the board late here? Velate running past a couple Huskies. Her pass is intercepted. Now Dumont going the other way with it. Chitima blocks that pass. Who was that off of? Dumont. Fort Lee ball late in the first half. A Husky goes down. Another one gets in the play. Fort Lee's defense trying to control, and Chitima will just knock it out of play. It'll be another corner kick opportunity for Nathanson and the Huskies. So both teams set up. Nathanson's line drive kick does not lead to a shot. Solomon gets it back to her. That's a shot, and it's saved by Agranov. She goes down and holds on with another Husky right in front of her face. That was Kelly. Pass out of Solomon's reach. Zarita trying to get her teammates started. Knocked out of play by a Husky. Is it going to be a throw-in or a corner kick? It's going to be a corner kick for Fort Lee. We are in the final minutes of the first half. Ball winds up in the air. Not really a shot, but it kind of popped up. Tracked down by Castro. Looking for a teammate, but it goes to Dumont. Masari looking for a teammate. That is number 7, Maeve Bisher, but it goes out of play, and that should be off of Bisher. Fort Lee ball. Dumont ball. Fort Lee ball. That shot is intercepted by a Husky. Now looking to get Masari started. She finds Molina, and Ileana James wins the battle against Molina. Back to Masari. Masari blowing by Bridgman. Her shot is handled by Agranov. That winded up going harmlessly to the side of the net. Good defense there by Mulieta of Fort Lee. Chitima chasing after it. Boxing out her opponent. Now getting some help defensively. It is going to be halftime. So after 40 minutes of play, the Fort Lee Bridgmen and the Dumont Huskies are tied at 1. I will step away for about 10 minutes for the intermission, and then we will come back with what should be an exciting second half. Don't go anywhere, anybody. Welcome back to the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex. I am Tommy Aquilina, and you are on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube live stream. The Fort Lee Bridgman varsity girls soccer team currently tied the bottom of the screen, as I'm sure you will notice. Brand new scoreboard getting set up, I guess technically the primary color for both of these teams. Right now, this is Shayla De Silva, number 11, battling for it for Fort Lee. The Bridgmen took a 1-0 lead early in this one. Dumont tied it. This is Zarita sending it high in the air, handled by Maggie Hanley. Good play in the first half by both goalkeepers. Hanley for Dumont, and for Fort Lee, their second goalkeeper, Sarah Agranov. Thrown in by Dumont. They picked up the pace in maybe the middle 5 or 10 to 15 minutes of the first half. But then Fort Lee wound up getting several opportunities of their own. This one has been pretty evenly played. Dumont, a 4-0 win at home against Fort Lee on September 15th. That was not even a month ago. A battle between Jetty Mulieta and a Husky. Ball goes out of play. It is going to be Fort Lee ball. Dumont looking for a fourth consecutive win today. Fort Lee looking to get a winning streak started. 2 days ago, a 5-4 comeback win against Cliffside Park, now taking on another divisional rival. Zarita lost it briefly. She does get a shot off. Hanley is right there. Ball was also wide of the net. Louise Chitima tried to take it away. Dumont will still control. I believe that was a shot attempt. It was blocked. Nathanson battling for it for Dumont. Sends it towards net. Agranov is right there. Ball was well to the side of the net. Molina finds a teammate and gets it back. Nathanson sends it high in the air on a hop. Header attempt fails. Shot stays on the ground, blocked away by a Bridgman defender. And a long pass will send Fort Lee the other way. Zarita to a teammate. Blowing by defenders. Hanley slides and makes the save. Ellis Marcus trying to get on the board. We remain tied at 1. Under 35 minutes remaining in the second half here. Villate fighting for it. Her teammate Castro gets it to Marcus. Her shot, or pass attempt really, is knocked out of play. It will remain Fort Lee ball. Marcus keeping it in play and battling multiple Huskies. Ball stays in play there after it was kicked away by Savannah Munoz. Marcus keeps it in play, but loses it. Masari for Dumont. Cannot beat her defender. It is not going to be a corner kick for Dumont. It is going to be Fort Lee ball. Catherine Kelly is boxed out. Fort Lee trying to control. Right to Molina. Gets it off to a teammate. Her shot goes in. Mia Masari gets on the board for Dumont and gives the Huskies the lead. Masari with 4 goals on the season coming into this one. And about 7 minutes into the second half, Dumont has their first lead of the day. Fort Lee led 1-0, now trailing for the first time today. This is Marcus with it, getting it to a teammate. Her shot on net, right into the waiting arms of Hanley. Ansley Castro has certainly made her presence felt, still looking to get on the board today. This pass to Marcus. She has a few teammates with her. Looks to get it to Mulieta, and she loses it. Nathanson gets it to Masari. She goes down, gets it off, and gets it ahead to Molina, who's able to keep it in play. Briefly. Now it will be Fort Lee ball, as the Bridgemen will look to come back from this 2-1 deficit. That won't help. Still not quite 10 minutes into the second half, so plenty of time remaining for both teams. It's Dumont ball. Sent high in the air, I believe that was by Ileana James. It will still be Dumont ball. The Huskies looking to win a 4th in a row and improve to 5-1 in division on the season. They lose it here to Fort Lee, who will throw it in. Castro was boxed out, goes out of play off Masari. Fort Lee to throw in again. And now Dumont will take over. (2-1) Dumont, as they look to go 2-0 against Fort Lee this year after losing both matches to them last year. The Huskies are playing well. 4-1 in division. 2-0 here in the month of October. And also 3-2 on the road. If they're able to hold on and win this one, they will have won 2/3 of their road matches. An errant ball goes on to the pitch, so a brief stoppage, and then Dumont throws in. Mulieta tried to take it the other way, was unable to, but it goes out of play. Masari couldn't keep it in. We get a whistle here because it's not Dumont ball, it will be Fort Lee ball. As the Shadows have taken over most of the field, except for right by Hanley, actually. Same team action for Fort Lee. Chitima loses it. Kelly looking for a teammate. Molina is stood up, and Fort Lee the other way with it. Here's Ileana James. Does get it to a teammate. Now this is Castro with it. Ahead to Marcus. Marcus trying to get past her defender. Sheds her. No whistle. Loses it to Dumont. Briefly, that shot is handled by Hanley. A dangerous play there for Dumont. Kind of a broken play for Fort Lee. And I believe that was De Silva who almost made the Huskies pay. Dumont trying to extend their lead now. Molina. Handled by Agranov. A do-or-die play for the Fort Lee goalkeeper, as two Huskies were right there to clean it up. So it remains 2-1. Shot from far away, handled on a hop by Agranov. I don't think that would have gone in had she not been there, but in any event, it remains 2-1. Knocked out of play by number 14 on Dumont. That's Angelina Gallagher. Still in play. No, it goes out of play. It will be Dumont ball, though. Thrown right to Ileana James. Looking for a teammate. It cannot be handled. It will be Fort Lee coming away with it. De Silva sends it to the other side of the pitch, but Solomon is there for Dumont. Finds a teammate. That's Masari. Masari gets it back. Broken up by Fort Lee. Now the Bridgemen head the other way with it. A Bridgman stops on a dime, looking for a teammate. Marcus is there, gets by her. De Silva, handled by Hanley. Fort Lee did just about everything right there, but put it in the back of the net. De Silva now with a couple opportunities that Hanley has handled. A much better performance today for Ian Oates' squad than when these teams first met less than a month ago. That was a 4-0 win for Dumont. The Huskies lead this one 2-1. Molina wants to extend the lead, but she could not, in fact, keep it in play. She thought she did, but she could not, with a couple Bridgemen playing good defense. Masari to Molina, and she loses it. That was number 10, Munoz. Still battling with De Silva and Chitima. Trying to get around them. Loses it out of play. Munoz to throw in. And that will go right to Agranov. About 15 minutes gone by. Again, we do not have a score to show you on screen because a new scoreboard is being installed by Fort Lee High School. It's 2-1 Dumont. Zarita's trying to change that. Gets around a defender, but sends it to the other side. Long pass ahead for Kelly. She can't handle it. She does wind up with it. Castro battling for it and takes it from her. Gets it to De Silva. That was not Castro, that was Velate. Velate getting past her defender. Didn't have a great angle there, and she shoots it out of play. Velate being covered by Munoz on that one. Dumont to take over. Coming into this one, Velate led Fort Lee with 7 goals, 5 assists, and 19 points. Having a fantastic season, unable to tie this one up there, but plenty of time left. We are not halfway through this second half. Zarita looking for a teammate, but it's going to wind up with Munoz and the Huskies. Taken away. Velate stopping, getting past the defender. Just barely out of play. Velate got past Hanley, but was unable to stay on the pitch. So Munoz and the Huskies take over. Masari and the Huskies looking to break out and extend this lead. It looks like they're going to be unable to. Ileana James' pass is intercepted. Dumont heading the other way. It gets past Molina. Here's James again. Molina battling James. And the ball will squirt out of play. It's going to be Fort Lee ball. And now I think it's going to go right back to Dumont. No, it'll still be Fort Lee ball. Dumont looking to extend their lead. A Husky goes down, we play on. Gets past James. But Molina can't do anything with it. Headed right out of play by Masari. Things slowing down a little bit here as we're about halfway through the second half. Time being kept by the referees. There's about 20 minutes remaining. Fort Lee trailing by 1. Long pass ahead for De Silva. One person to beat. And Hanley is right there. Hanley and Munoz kind of slide into each other, but Hanley handles it. De Silva right on the doorstep multiple times here in the second half, looking for her first goal of the year. And we get a handball called against Nyasha Chitima. Munoz will get Dumont started. Need up in the air. And I think that was a pass that went to nobody in particular. Agranov right there for Fort Lee. So the Bridgemen to head the other way as they look to erase this 1-goal deficit. No call there on a handball. Castro, right to Solomon. Louise Chitima heads it up in the air. Nyasha Chitima battling Kelly. It'll be Fort Lee ball. Or no, it looks like it's going to be a corner kick. They're going to say the ball did not go off of Kelly, so it will be a corner kick for Dumont, and sprinting to the corner is Nathanson after being subbed in. So it'll be the lefty Nathanson. On multiple hops, this one is sent out of play. We'll do it again. That's the wrong football as the pigskin leaked onto the field. Fort Lee. Tima has a teammate with her. Battling with a Husky. Fort Lee scored, I believe, less than 5 minutes into this one. Since then, they haven't played poorly. They've had multiple opportunities, but Dumont has kept the door shut. They've taken a 2-1 lead. Fort Lee trying to change that. Marcus battling Solomon and turned into a short hop for him. Masari gets it past Louise Chitima. Offsides. Catherine Ian Oates' team looking for a comeback victory. Going the other way now. Louise Chitima chasing after it. She will give way to Agranov. Kelly was right there. Nathanson and Dumont controlling again. Good defense by Chitima. No whistle. Leaks out to a Husky. Good defensive play right there, and Fort Lee goes the other way. Pass ahead to Zarita, doesn't quite get to her. That will go out of play off Fort Lee. They throw into Nathanson, but she can't control. So Fort Lee to throw in. They have a little bit more than 10 minutes to work with here in the second half. Solomon wins the battle. Masari, the lead pass It's broken up. Louise Chitima to a teammate. And Velate keeps it in play. Gets around a Husky. Gets past another Husky. Velate gets past Munoz, but loses it. Sent the other way. Kelly with it. Good defense by Louise Chitima and Castro. Castro still battling for it. Looking for Marcus, she didn't get it to her. A whistle here, I believe that was a handball going against Dumont. Now Ansley Castro to get Fort Lee started. No, not yet. Now, after a little bit more suspense builds. Castro sending it on net. Hanley slides and handles. If she lost it, Zarita was right there. Dangerous play by Maggie Hanley. But she keeps Dumont in front. Molina trying to extend the lead. Gets it to Nathanson. Looking for Molina. But Ileana James catches up with her. Molina's shot is handled by Agranov. Just about 10 minutes remaining here in the second half. Zarita gets past Solomon, looking for a teammate. Gets past Nathanson and finds a teammate. Gets it back. Solomon back in the play. She sends it out of bounds, so Fort Lee to throw in. And it'll be Zarita doing the honors. Headed by a Husky. Solomon. Good play there as a Husky went down. Dumont controls. Now this is Masari with it. Looking for Molina. She doesn't get it to her. Slowed down by Louise Chitima. Looking for a teammate. That's going to go against Dumont, even though it was a Husky who went down. Ellis Marcus battling a Husky. Fort Lee keeping the pressure on Dumont. Looking for that tying score. Solomon is able to get it to Nathanson. Her pass to Molina is broken up, but Solomon gets it back. And now she loses it. Molina goes down, and we get a whistle. Not sure who exactly that was against, but it will go against Fort Lee. Molina is slow to get up, but now she appears to be no worse for wear. And I believe now they're going to let Mia Masari do the honors here. A real opportunity for Dumont to slam the door shut on Fort Lee. The Bridgemen set up their wall. And now it's on Masari. Over everything. Fort Lee to go the other way with it, still trailing by just one. Roughly 10 minutes to play, I believe just under 10 minutes to play here in the second half. Dumont clinging to a 2-1 lead. A whistle going against Dumont. Zarita trying to control. Battling Solomon. Nathanson running away with it for Dumont. Trying to find Masari, and she does. Masari looking for Melina, but Agranov was right there to handle it. That's handled by Nathanson. Gets it to a teammate. Louise Chitima goes down, but that allows another one of her defenders to go after it. She'll lose it, though. This should be a corner kick for Dumont. And time starting to become an issue for Fort Lee. It's going to be Munoz doing the honors for Dylan Van Riper's team. That's a low kick. Couple players battling for it. And that shot will go harmlessly out of play. About 5.5 minutes to go here for Fort Lee. They took an early lead. They now trail 2-1. Time for at least one or two more opportunities. Got to keep the Huskies off the board, though, too. Catherine Kelly and Michaela Molina battling for it, making things difficult for Fort Lee. Villate, blowing by Huskies. Villate, save made by Hanley. Villate looking for Zarita. It's knocked out of play by Solomon. Fort Lee to control. What an attempt there by Villate. And what a save by Maggie Hanley. It's going to be a throw-in for Fort Lee. And we get a whistle going against Fort Lee. Under 5 minutes to play in this one. Dumont leading 2-1. Knocked down by Zarita. Fort Lee almost had a shot there. Now it's Molina coming away with it. Molina blowing by defenders. Her shot is handled easily by Agranov. So it remains 2-1. And a whistle against Agranov. Another opportunity here for Dumont to step on the throats of the Bridgemen. This will essentially be a free kick for Masari. Mia Masari keeps it on the ground and scores. She made it 2-1, and now she makes it 3-1. Mia Masari. Four goals on the season coming into this one. Also 1 assist, so she had 9 points. Now well in the double digits on the season. So Dumont scoring 3 unanswered goals after trailing early. And it looks like they're going to come away with the road victory here at the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex. This is Ellis Marcus battling for it. And we get a whistle. I lied. That was not Marcus. That was number 11. That was De Silva. De Silva came so close to tying this one up multiple times in the second half. Now it's going to be Velate getting Fort Lee started as they trail by 2. And no opportunity there for De Silva. Ball staying in play. And it's going to be Dumont ball. Here it's out of play off of the Huskies. Dumont, after going 0-7 in division last year, is set to go 5-1. This will be their 4th consecutive victory, and it will send them to 2-0 over Fort Lee after Fort Lee swept the season series last year. Was a handball called there? Yes, it was. Much to the chagrin of a Husky. So an opportunity here for Ian Oates and the Bridgemen. And another save for Maggie Hanley. And that's how this one's going to end. Fantastic games by Maggie Hanley and Mia Masari, and they lead Dumont to a 3-1 comeback victory over Fort Lee. Want to thank Fort Lee Athletic Director Michael Raftery and everybody else who makes these streams possible, including Dimitri Nanas. Thank you so much for joining us on a Wednesday afternoon. Your final, the Dumont Huskies 3, the Fort Lee Bridgemen 1. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do tune in again next time. I'm Tommy Aquilina saying so long from the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Until next time, everybody.